forward. So yeah, we're expanding the illegal head hit rule, and we'll take it to the PA here next week, and then we'll go from there. So
how do you define what's going to be illegal hit, though? That's still going to be hard.
It is, and I think a lot of it is supplemental, because I mean, we'll sit here and we'll watch a video 30 times where the refs don't have that opportunity. So we try to make it easier on the referees, but at the same time we understand that the teeth or the meat of the whole thing will be supplemental.
Oh, okay, so not on the ice.
Yeah, there'll be the calls on the ice and that, but I think when you can stop the video, you can watch it, you can determine things better, supplementally comes.
And is the reason for not giving us too much of this right now is because the PA has to get involved?
Yes, the process. So we have to go to the competition committee meeting. We'd be on the 6th on Monday, and then the board of governors also. So, but we had to have a clear consensus between this group to take that to the unions.
So did you have to change the wording, or were they happy with the wording that you?
No, the wording we changed the wording very subtly. You know, the different things that have changed to broaden the scope of those head hits and not just have it so narrow. Probably, I think, tried to broaden it at the same sense with the safety of the players in mind.
But I guess what I was asking is, did the general managers say anything that changed the way you came into the meeting?
No, see, and that's kind of what, based on the last general managers meeting, the direction that our group was given, we came back with a recommendation. You know, it's discussed all day today. It takes that long to come to a concise consensus that, okay, this is the wording and the ruling that we want. Let's take this forward to the union and to the board of governors.
You met for 4 hours last Monday in Vancouver. How often did you guys meet in person? There was one in New York,
we had 3 conference calls, 2 in-person meetings, and dozens of videos. But that's just to come up with a different type of wording, not changing a lot of things, but adding some different things and then making sure it was the recommendation we wanted to take forward.
Is a lot of this process about you sped the game up so much, and all these things have happened, but you don't want to slow the game down to solve the problem?
Yeah, I think the game's at a great high right now, and I think everybody that watches it thinks it's played great. And I think you're going to see this, and I'm involved 1 year stepping away, but I've been involved in the game enough to see that each year there's something, you know, and these meetings come out and you try to do something to improve it. And this year obviously was the safety of the players and expanding the illegal head hit rule.
Could you gauge the appetite of the room as far as a total ban on hits to the head?
I don't think it's there by any means, and I think there's steps to that process. If that needs to be down the road someday, maybe. But again, it's an ongoing process to trying to figure out what we can do to make the players' safety by far.
Did the Rome hit come up as an example?
Yeah, for sure.
And so would that now be under the broadened version?
You know, it's an interference rule. And I think that was the way it was ruled and the way it was called. And you know, that would probably take precedent over a Rule 48 at the time, because there was,
right.
You know,
by next year, if that hit happens,
if it happened the exact same way, it's still going to be an interference major. That would be supplemental discipline.
But the question is, if that hit happens exactly that way, but Nathan Horton has the puck, are we starting to rule that hit out of the game?
No, I don't think you want to take out, and that's one thing. When we looked at broadening the illegal head hit rule, is that we don't want to eliminate hitting. So, you know, you're going to have contact and you're going to have good full body hits. And if you went to a complete ban of any contact to the head, then those are going to be ruled out. So we didn't want to go that far by any means, and you know, obviously expanding it to a point where good legal hits are still plausible, and that's, I think, what people want to see that too.
How much of the discussion though was on getting a blanket to eliminate?
Not a lot. You know, there's obviously some talk of it. But I think when we sit down and we watch some of these videos, and the videos we watch in there, the appetite kind of slowly, you understand that it is a contact, it is a physical sport, and if the hit is applied right and there is contact to the head, I don't know how you can call that a penalty.
Do you think there's a consensus for everyone to try and eradicate this, to try and find a way to...
There's a consensus of the group to make the game safer by far, and the steps that have to take, you know, I mean, we don't know what those steps will be in 2 years or anything right now. From what we've learned from the game the past 4 or 5 years and the different steps we've taken, we just increased and we broadened the rule a little bit, and you know, to the illegal head hit.
Right.
And that's the thing, the illegal head hits.
And other than possibly taking blindside out of the Rule 48, what other tweaks are we talking about?
Well, for the most part, the issue we have is the targeting the head, and you know, when you see hits that are targeting the head, that's an illegal hit, and I think the consensus is there. That's fine. We'll deal with that and everything. But again, the wording of the rule, and the reason we can't really give the full wording is the process of instituting that rule has to go through the Player Association first, and then through the Board of Governors.
Was there a lot of attention in this tweak, though, about players in vulnerable positions? That seemed to be a word that Brian Burke used.
We use vulnerable and defenseless, and I think there are a couple different scenarios. Players can put themselves in a vulnerable position, but if you're skating up the ice with your head down and you're vulnerable, well, that's probably your own fault.
There's still going to be a caveat for guys that are putting themselves in that position.
And you see players and things turn at the last second, and when a hit's being delivered, there's nothing you can do to avoid that contact. So all that kind of context gets put in, it's taken into consideration.
And was this move for on ice? Is this like a minor penalty, major penalty thing, or is it more for supplemental?
No, it's for both, and it'll be minor and a major, different wording in that aspect. But I think the overall consensus was that when you can watch the video over and over and you can get a clear and concise picture of what happened rather than in stop time, the supplemental discipline has a big factor in that.
How long was your presentation this morning?
Well, our presentation wasn't long. The discussion after it was a few. But again, this has been going on since the meetings in March, so it's nothing that just was created overnight and brought in here. And we've informed GMs of kind of the process or the direction we've been going on for a while. So the discussion was in the afternoon here tonight.